Hello, my friends. This is immigration attorney Joseph Patrick Murphy with a video that's kind of a subject of some irritation lately: USCIS delays and USCIS mistakes. As you are all undoubtedly aware, our country is going through something of a difficult time right now. Almost every business and agency has experienced shutdowns and slowdowns due to the coronavirus pandemic. You should know that USCIS itself is not immune from this and have had their own setbacks during Corona. USCIS is processing things. They're receiving filings from me and sending things back to me. But the one thing they can't do as fast as they always could is in-person services. They've had to cut those back for social distancing reasons. In-person services were completely shut down for several months, and this caused a massive backlog of cases. Now that USCIS is back open, the in-person services are being done at a reduced capacity. This creates the so-called backlog problem, where there's more cases coming into the USCIS system than they can process. Just yesterday, I was at the USCIS office in Arlington, Virginia. This is an office that's normally packed. I commonly go there and there'd be 150 or 200 people in the lobby waiting for their asylum case to be called. And there'd be an equal appropriate number of asylum officers working to handle all those cases. When I got there yesterday, there was only about 20 people in the lobby of USCIS Arlington, and that included 4 guards and a check-in clerk. There's 3 check-in windows and only one was open, and that one wasn't even attended all the time. I see this at every immigration office I visit. My local office, USCIS Pittsburgh, which is actually in Monroeville, has drastically reduced staff and the number of people allowed to sit in the lobby. All of this means one thing: delays. It's very frustrating, I'm sure, but there's a backlog of cases right now that would take a long time to resolve, even if USCIS were processing in-person services at the normal rate they were before Corona. And everything is definitely not back up to normal speed. Again, this is the bottleneck problem. It doesn't matter how fast USCIS is working internally if they can't get the cases out. They can't get the cases out until they do the interviews. And they're not doing the interviews as fast as they normally do. And this backlog and confusion and people being cut back, staff being cut back, means a second thing, and that means mistakes. USCIS makes mistakes just like any other agency. With a breakdown in the system, you can expect not only delays, but mistakes too. The most common mistakes are spelling someone's name wrong or getting a middle initial wrong, but all sorts of mistakes happen. Sometimes there's a European-style date entered, or sometimes the applicant enters inconsistent answers. The breakdown in the system at USCIS also means there's no one to call. I'm sure some of you may have tried calling the USCIS customer service line. They put you on hold, you can never get anybody online, and eventually the system just hangs up on you. It all boils down to one thing: you're going to have to be patient. Some of you will have cases that go through the system at the normal speed, and some of you will have cases that get assigned to a USCIS officer who's out with Corona, or whose mom needs help, or has just got a lot of stuff on his desk and can't get to you. Those of you who get stuck with the second type of officer may experience longer than normal processing times. We have no control over this, and I'm seeing a sharp uptick in frustrated clients. I wanted to give you this video, at least give you some understanding of what's happening and what we can do. But I am seeing a sharp uptick in frustrated clients. One of my favorites is the classic, "What's going on with my case call?" When we file something with USCIS, they either accept it as a filing or reject it. They send it back to us. If a filing is rejected, we fix whatever's wrong with it and send it back in. If your filing is accepted, we have to wait and see how USCIS responds. The bad news is that there really is no surefire way to speed up USCIS. USCIS is a bureaucracy. It's not a business. There's no competition. You can't take your business somewhere else. We're stuck with them, at least if you want to immigrate to this country. Your case gets assigned to an officer, and that officer gets to your case when they feel like it. In the rare case where something goes outside normal processing times, we have a computer system tracking all this. We're alerted the moment a case goes one day beyond normal processing times, and we initiate a case service inquiry. If the bad news is that there's no way to speed things up, the good news is that there's no real way to slow things down. Once a case is accepted for filing, you're in the processing queue. If you made any serious mistake in your filing, your case would have never been accepted in the first place. It would have been rejected and we would have had to fix it. There's no need. I understand these delays are frustrating people and everybody's looking for a reason why they're being forced to wait. It's Corona. There's no need to go over your client copy of whatever we filed for you trying to find that one mistake that's slowing it down. It just doesn't happen that way. Incorrect dates or misspelled names can all be corrected at the interview. They don't slow the case down at all. If we didn't include a medical exam, that won't slow the case down at all either. They'll just send you a notice reminding you to bring a medical to the interview. The only thing that could slow your case down is a request for evidence. Once in a while, the immigration officer will want more information on one point or another. This is a result of that individual officer's decision that they want more evidence on that point. So these requests for evidence are called RFEs. And even if you get an RFE, that doesn't take you out of line and put you at the back of the line. People don't get past you. The case will stop processing while you formulate your response to the request for evidence, while you submit the new evidence. And as soon as you do, it'll start processing right where you left off in order. It's because your case has a filing date. That's a priority order in the system. If your priority date is current, you take priority over all cases with a priority date after yours. But I do know it can be frustrating. USCIS is effectively not taking calls, and they're not taking them from us either. Being a squeaky wheel and calling us over and over again with the what's going on with my case call isn't going to make us go any faster, and we wouldn't be able to do anything about it anyway. Similarly, going through your client copies of what we filed, looking for the, aha, I found it, this is what's delaying my case, is silly. It simply does not work that way. If there was a defect in what we filed that was serious enough, it would have never been accepted as a filing in the first place. Believe it or not, we care very deeply about what we do and about your case. My two excellent paralegals are incredibly diligent and they're incredibly conscientious. We monitor the status, the online status with USCIS of every case we have every single day. If there was something going on in your case, we would know. The system would alert us and we would call you. You wouldn't have to call us. But working with USCIS is more like a tennis match than a chess game. You hit the ball to them by filing something and they send back what they want to send back when they do. That could be a request for evidence, a reminder to bring your medical, something like that. But they respond on their own speed. When we complete any particular step of a case, whether that's filing an application, responding to a request for evidence, going to an interview or anything like that, we have to wait for USCIS to send us their response to that. We have to wait for USCIS to respond, and they respond at their own speed. And no matter how much we want it to be faster, we're stuck with what it is. But we do monitor the status of every case we have every day. In fact, that's an automated process here at this office. We bought some pretty sophisticated software during Corona, and it actually pings USCIS servers every day. And if there's any change in the status of any one of our cases, we're notified. And that means you're going to be notified. You won't have to call us asking about your case status. If there's any change in your case status, we'll notify you right away. But fair is fair. If we file something and it's rejected, we fix that and resend it at our expense. That's not your fault. It's quite rare, but mistakes do happen. If you see a mistake on something we filed, let us know. That'll be on us too. You didn't pay us to make mistakes, you paid us to do it right, and we'll fix any mistakes at our own expense. If USCIS takes their time, there's nothing we can do about that. And if USCIS makes a mistake, if they miscopy something we sent them, if they misenter data onto your forms, that's not our fault. The good news is that in all of these cases, you don't really have to fix this stuff. Your case will process at the normal speed, and you can make corrections as late as the interview. You can just tell the officer, they've got my middle name wrong on that, please fix it, and they'll fix it at the interview. If you'd like to fix it sooner, let us know. If it's our mistake, it's on us. If it's their mistake, that is, if USCIS made the mistake, you're going to have to pay us to fix that because that's not our fault. If you don't want to pay us, though, you can just fix it at the interview. So that's it on USCIS delays and mistakes. There's more of them. It's Corona. We got to live with it. We're doing what we can. We've got the sophisticated computer system to monitor the status of your case and keep you updated. There's no need to keep calling us or poring over your documents trying to figure out why it's going slow. It's Corona. It's making everything go slow. And you have to realize that it's going to make your immigration case go slower too. I know it's a pain in the backside, but we're all going to have to keep our patience and everything will be fine in the end. This is Joe Murphy with Allegheny Immigration Group. My office number is 412-521-2000. My personal cell, text, and WhatsApp are all the same number, 412-973-3442. If you're experiencing delays, setbacks, you certainly have our sympathies. We don't like it any more than you do. Our control over USCIS is limited, as it may be lately, is limited to doing good work at the very beginning of the case and avoiding that rejection. Those are the delays that we do have control over, and it's pretty rare here that we make those sort of mistakes. But Corona is ticking up, and it doesn't look like it's going to end anytime soon. I know there's a vaccine on the horizon, but don't take any risks. How'd you like to be the last person to die and the day after they come out with a cure? Stay safe, wear a mask, wash your hands, sanitize, social distance, and survive through. We want to see you all there on the other side. This is Joe Murphy from Allegheny Immigration Group. On behalf of everybody here, I hope you stay safe and thank you for watching.